you have any reaction to Massie's loss? No?
Wasn't surprised at all, because the bottom line is this: Donald Trump is the general of the Republican Party, and the Republican primary voters are his soldiers. And if you look at Thomas Massie, you can see it very clearly. You look in 2020, 2022, 2024, he was getting 75%, upwards of 81% of the primary vote in 2020. And today, he gets less than 50% of the vote. That's the story.
That is incredible, because you look at it so consistent time after time after time, and then, wow, look
Boom.
at tonight. Donald Trump, thank you very much.
Wasn't surprised.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. A lot of major primary races recently happened, and we got some great news. Okay, the what shall we call them? The black pillars of the right. They lost in spectacular fashion. Somebody like Tucker Carlson, every single person he endorsed, which was about 5 or 6 people, they all lost. So it goes to show that MAGA is not dead. We aren't going anywhere. Even with these big names like the Tucker Carlson, the Candace Owens, the Nicks, and the Alex Jones, and whomever else, the Hodge twins, even with these big names coming out and some of them basically saying, hey, we should vote Democrat. They still lost, okay? They do not have control of the party. As a matter of fact, Trump went undefeated. Trump-endorsed candidates went 37-0 last night, a perfect night across multiple states, a 100% win rate for the endorsed slate. 10-0 in Pennsylvania, 9-0 in Georgia, 6-0 in Alabama, 6-0 in Kentucky, 5-0 in Idaho, and 1-0 in Oregon. Strong showing for America First priorities. You absolutely love to see it. You love to see it. Beautiful. Beautiful. And the biggest race of them all happened to be in Kentucky, which was the most expensive, I believe, in history in a primary race. Check it out.
Fox News alert. Polls are closing across the country. Major primary races going down in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky, where the AP projects Thomas Massie just lost. The results will tell us a lot about where voters feel about Trump and a lot about Democrats as well, and give us a clue about what to expect in the midterms. Bill Hemmer, co-anchor of America's Newsroom. What do we got, Hemmer?
I mean, this is where we are. A race has been called for Ed Gallrein, a newcomer to the political scene. He's a dairy farmer in the southwestern portion of this district, Congressional District 4. Thomas Massie, meanwhile, is a very well-known commodity. He has represented this district for 14 years, Jesse. And the president endorsed Gallrein, and Gallrein, the former Navy SEAL. The race has been called. He's got about an 8-9 point edge right now. That may be very close to the final point, the final margin in this race. So that was an endorsement on behalf of the White House and the president. Also in the state of Kentucky, this thing was really no contest. It was a 3-way race on the Senate side. In Andy Barr, the former congressman, represented Lexington, northeastern section of there. He's trying to go for the Mitch McConnell seat after McConnell announced his retirement come end of this term. Andy Barr was endorsed by the president also. And Jesse, this race was called within minutes after polls closed. 3-way race. Daniel Cameron, the former attorney general, really, I mean, some competition, but really not much when you're around 60% of the vote. So the president tonight in the bluegrass state of Kentucky, he's got a winner in the Senate for Andy Barr, and he's got a surprise winner, too, in the House with Ed Gallrein. So Gallrein now goes to the general. A district, by the way, that went for Donald Trump by 75% of the vote against Kamala Harris in 2004. This is Trump country, Congressional District 4, and Ed Gallrein, in all likelihood, will go to the House of Representatives come November. And what is another victory after a presidential endorsement tonight, Jesse?
All right.
So, yeah, you see here as well, Andy Barr got the Senate nomination. I'm not a fan of Daniel Cameron. Daniel Cameron, to me, is a Mitch McConnell light. So he was definitely a no for me. Andy Barr, not the biggest fan of Andy either, if I'm being completely honest. My pick was Nate Morris, personally. But, you know, we shall see. This should be a whole lot better than Mitch McConnell, I'll tell you that. Okay, so Yeah, and we didn't get Daniel Cameron, so that's obviously great to see because, like I said, Daniel Cameron is basically a Mitch McConnell light. If I remember correctly, Mitch McConnell was trying to push him to run for Senate to replace him. So, yeah, definitely didn't want him. I preferred Nate Morris, but Nate Morris had dropped out. He had a conversation with Uncle Trump. They made an agreement, and so now we have Andy Barr. So we'll see how that plays out. But like I said, I have a lot more confidence in Andy Barr than I ever had in Mitch McConnell. Okay, so, and all of these folks are seeing now, hey, if I get elected by the Republicans, right? If I get elected by Republicans, I better do what they tell me to do or else I'm gone. You know, we have made a statement. We the people have made a major statement thus far in these primaries, and it is absolutely beautiful to see. Absolutely beautiful to see. As a matter of fact, I came across the clip. I don't think I saved it, but there was this chick that was like, Donald Trump lied to me. He said I was going to get tired of winning. We ain't tired, baby. We are not tired, and we got a whole lot more W's coming. Obviously, we got the Ken Paxton versus John Cornyn coming up next week. I believe that is the 26th. Don't quote me on that. But next week in Texas, we have John Cornyn versus Ken Paxton, and Ken Paxton is projected to beat that RINO as well. So, I mean, we're knocking RINOs off the board left and right. So I think that is going to send a major message to the rest of the RINOs in the party. And come 2028, when Lisa Murkowski and John Thune out of South Dakota are both up for re-election, and we get them out of the party, oh yeah, it's really done. It's really over with. Okay, so yeah, here's Scott Jennings and what he had to say following Thomas Massie being ousted.
What's the old song? You don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Trump in a Republican primary. And that's what Thomas Massie has done by becoming his chief antagonist in the U.S. House. And this became really a referendum on, is Thomas Massie on the team or not? And Trump said he wasn't. The voters followed. The key vote that House leadership turned on him over was the big, beautiful bill. I mean, the working
House
families
leadership, but
tax
the president.
credit. Well, but that's the president's domestic policy agenda, and you cannot become an apostate on two issues in a Republican primary: taxes and immigration. Massie voted against Trump's immigration security. He voted against Trump's tax cuts. So when you become a chief antagonist, when you're voting with the squad against Donald Trump's domestic policy agenda, it's not Epstein.
But that's
it's
because
a problem.
he was
When you're voting with the Democrats that often, look, politics is a team sport. He's just not been on the president's team.
How
That's
much of a
problem.
chill get for the party?
Voters have some agency here, okay?
Okay.
These people who live in Kentucky's 4th Congressional District strongly support Donald Trump. It's one of the most conservative districts in the country. They overwhelmingly vote for him. And if they perceive that their Republican congressman, who they also voted for, is voting with the Democrats against the agenda of the president that they overwhelmingly supported, they take notice of it. That's what happens.
100% facts. 100% facts. So, yeah, if you take the stance of Thomas Massie, then you will be voted out. We're done playing games. We are over this whole, come election time, you say everything good, you say all the right things, and then once you get into office, you basically vote with Democrats. Like, no, you don't see Democrats voting with Republicans, not unless it's to benefit the Democrat Party. So why are we doing that for them? No, we need the same type of energy in return. And if you don't want to do that, then get out of the party. Go run as a Democrat if you really want to be in D.C., which I'm sure some of these folks just really love to be in D.C. John Thune, talking about you. Run as a Democrat then. Run as a Democrat. None of these folks would win. Even Thomas Massie, who obviously voted with Democrats, wouldn't even win if he ran as a Democrat. In a Democrat primary. I'm not even talking about the general. I'm talking about just a Democrat primary. If Thomas Massie won, he would get blown out. Blown out. So yeah, I'm sick of these folks, and I don't feel bad for anybody like Thomas Massie. Anybody like Thomas Massie, like Rand Paul. He's out of Kentucky too. I believe he's up for re-election in 28. Rand Paul, you very well may be next. Okay, and Rand Paul is somebody that I've spoken highly of in the past. If you guys don't know who Rand Paul is, I can pull him up on the screen really quickly. But I've spoken about Rand Paul, spoken highly of Rand Paul in the past. But when you start doing the silly stuff, which I guess I showed you guys this clip at the, I forgot that I even showed y'all this clip, but this is Rand Paul, for those of you that don't know, which is the very first clip that you saw in this video of him looking very disappointed that Thomas Massie got blown out. But he's a Thomas Massie type too. So I think he understands the writing is on the wall. He better buy a toilet and a ruler and get his poop straight, or he's going to end up like Thomas Massie and voted out as well. We're done playing games. We're done playing games. We are going to treat these folks the same way the Democrat voters treat Democrats who don't vote, straight line on the agenda. For example, look at somebody like, what's the senator's name out of Pennsylvania? I could see his face. Goodness gracious, I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. Geez Louise. But he's agreed with Republicans on a number of things. I mean, obviously, he's still a Democrat. Like, I would never vote for the guy, but he's agreed with Republicans. And if you look at his polling numbers, I mean, he's absolutely in the toilet with Democrats. Absolutely in the toilet. When he's up for re-election, he's getting blown out. He's getting blown out. So, yeah, we're giving that same treatment back. Also, some more good news that happened yesterday out of Georgia. In a major victory, Republicans have won both seats on the Georgia Supreme Court, so Democrats cannot take the majority there and try to block any type of redistricting going on. Both Republican candidates won, so that is beautiful to see. They were incumbents, I believe, so they're sticking around. They're not going anywhere, so that is absolutely beautiful to see. But yeah, man, W's across the board, undefeated, never lost, okay? I love to see it, and let's keep this going. Let's continue it. I believe, like I said, Texas is next up next week. So if you're in the great state of Texas, Ken Paxton, baby. Ken Paxton. Let's get rid of John Cornyn. All right? Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.